Let me just get my notes out. Okay. Hi, Mafa. My name is Grace Geremias. I'm a sophomore at University of Illinois, and I'm currently PSA UIUC's Philanthropy Chair. I'm here in front of you all today because I want to be your next Mafa Secretary, and ultimately on the Mafa board next year. I'm really excited to be here and to experience Mafa in every which way I can. I believe that it's very important for us to connect with each other now, look back and appreciate our past, and gain skills to make an impact in our futures. This is what Mafa does and why it needs to continue and grow. I want to be involved in such an experience due to my work experience. I fully believe in my capabilities, my qualifications, and my passions. As Secretary of UIUC's UNICEF this year, I know that I'm capable of being organized and making notes accessible to others. Working in the university main library has allowed me to be detail-oriented and efficient. And finally, being PSA's Philanthropy Chair has shown me how much I care about my culture, others, and growth. I've learned to constantly think of ways to make a great thing even better. That is why Mafa Board Secretary is suited for me. I want to expand on the duties of Secretary by giving aspiring individuals the building blocks to become future leaders and grow. From my experience in PSA, I've learned how influential the board can be on its members, and I want to prepare the candidates as early as possible. I plan on having the boards leave testimonials on their experiences and also encourage potential candidates to join Skype meetings, interview current board members, and strengthen their relationships with their advisors. I want to make the process into the board as comfortable and enjoyable as possible. If elected, I will also utilize my chair to represent, connect, and inspire. I want to properly represent Mafa, its board, and its members in the best way that I can, by keeping communication with them and asking for their feedback through email and social networking. I'll use the summer to talk to the prospective boards and to get any updates and suggestions. I also want to reach out to the Mafa conference website to potentially set up an archive of the year's newsletters. I want to focus on outreaching to the schools, and I believe that the newsletter can be an effective tool to do so. But secretarial duties aside, I'm a huge team player and promise to work with the board to achieve a sense of unity throughout the Mafa schools. From what I've learned with working in groups, one needs to be flexible and attentive to the needs of the whole. And I also strive to be a stable, consistent member on board and help support others. I'm very ready to take on this challenge on being on Mafa Executive Board. I'm very dedicated to making sure the members of Mafa have an amazing experience, and I hope to be involved in making that happen. Thank you.
What do you think would be your biggest obstacle in being the secretary? What's
Biggest
what are
obstacle?
you most afraid of, or what is your biggest caution?
I would say that this question can pertain to anyone on board. It's just making sure that you're connected with everyone on the board because we're from different schools. We have other agendas, and we have other things to do. So making sure to keep in contact with your board, the people who are in Mafa, the Mafa conference board. I think it's very important to be connected, and it's something that I'm aware of, and I want to make sure that I do. So I guess that's something that kind of answers your question. Yeah.
Hi, can you elaborate more and give me an actual tangible way that you plan to, you kind of alluded to this idea that you're going to help build leadership and kind of create this kind of movement, but give me an actual tangible way that you can actually apply that and create a leadership development model.
Okay, I actually love this question. So for PSA, we actually have, I don't know if you guys are in the QUAC conference, but we actually have this intern program. And it kind of builds up people who want to be on the board. It gives them certain tasks to do, and it makes them see what they have in store for them for the next year. And so what I plan to do is make sure they have required things that they need to do in order to become a board member next year. I want them to see from the beginning, to end process of how to get into the board, how it is to be on board, and what to do afterwards, and just things to I want to make sure I'm there for them as well. So, sort of just building off my experience from PSA and the intern program, I want to make it a good experience for them. Sorry. Just also to add on to that question, I don't know if they're doing this again this year, or at all this year. But we also have advisors guides, so it's sort of like a log, for each chair to say like, oh, this is this is what I did throughout it. This is how I planned a certain event. This is what went wrong and like my issues with it. So I think if you have all the chairs like have a sort of diary of their own position, the past or the future people could be like, oh, this is what happened. Like I could read this and like refer back to it for any problems. Yeah.
Sorry, that's fine. So what is the point of like archiving a newsletter if often when it comes to students, often they don't really look at the newsletter? Like,
Yeah.
what would be the purpose of really doing this for the greater brand of Mafa?
I feel like, well, at least for me, I want to make sure the newsletter is kind of utilized as an outreach tool. Like I don't want it just to be like an article that you can read. I want it for a way, like I want to use it in order to grab people in and like outreach to like the Philippines and like have articles on them and like and also like have just being awareness of our culture and sort of getting other schools' inputs and putting it in the newsletter. So hopefully by having like these different I guess perspectives in the newsletter, it could just grab people's interest to read it. And then by archiving it, I want people to be I want it to be accessible to everyone so that just so it's easier for them. Like I'm putting it out there for them so they can go out. They don't have to go out of their way to find it. Like it's there, like go to the site, and it also kind of connects them to the Mafa conference because I feel like there can also be a disconnect from the board to the conference, and I want to make sure there's kind of like something that connects us. So I'm using the newsletter as a tool for that.
All right, thank you.